In the last video, I told you my great-great-great-grandfather was freed in the Texas of Juneteenth. This is the other half of the story, the half almost no one is taught. Because the woman he married wasn't freed on Juneteenth at all. She was enslaved a few miles away, in a place that order never reached. Not by a planter. Her name was Martha Love, my great-great-grandmother. Born around 1853. And here's the part that stops people. She was born enslaved inside the Chickasaw Nation. Not enslaved in a southern state. Enslaved by Native Americans on sovereign tribal land in what's now Oklahoma. It's a piece of history that sits outside the story most of us grew up with. The 5 tribes, the Chickasaw among them, held enslaved black people, brought them west, and kept them in bondage on their own land. Her own federal card records it in plain handwriting, Martha Slave of Hence Love. How does a black family end up enslaved by a native nation? It runs back to Mississippi. Before 1837, the Chickasaw homeland was in the north of that state. When the United States forced the Chickasaw west on their own trail of tears, the enslaved people walked the same road. Martha's parents were Jim Love and Mary Love. Her mother was enslaved by a man named Hence Love. Her father by a man named Cubby Love. And here's the first hard thing to sit with. The Love surname my family carries was never ours. It's the name of the people who owned them. The name itself is a record of bondage. Now here's the turn. The Emancipation Proclamation freed people in the rebelling states. Juneteenth enforced it in Texas. But Indian Territory was not a state. It was sovereign tribal land, and neither order reached inside it. So in 1865, while John was becoming free across the river in Texas, Martha, a few miles away, was still invaded. Same region, 2 different legal worlds. Let me hold to the rule of this channel. Martha, born enslaved in the Chickasaw Nation, freed by the 1866 treaty, never adopted by the nation, all proven, written in her own family's federal records. What's still open is the exact household she was held in. I'm working it, and I'll show it to you when it's proven and not before. The records are the authority here. Her freedom came in 1866 through a treaty between the United States and the Chickasaw and Choctaw nations. It abolished slavery, and it gave the tribes a choice: adopt their freed people as citizens or don't. The Choctaw eventually did. The Chickasaw never did. So after 1866, Martha was free, but a citizen of nothing, not Chickasaw. She lived her whole life in that gap. And here's the cruelest detail the records hold. On that same card, the Texas freedman is marked non-citizen. People assume he was the one without standing, but it's backwards. John, freed in Texas, was a U in 1868. Martha, whose Chickasaw enslavement earned this unit's place within no country at all. The husband, labeled non-citizen, was the citizen. So what does Juneteenth really celebrate? Part 1 said a specific day freedom became real. Part 2 has to add the harder truth. The same freedom reached different people on different dates, and for some, it never fully arrived. Martha's children become citizens in 1907, down through the family to me.